Spiritual myth number 2, God is sovereign. Now before you get mad at me and discard me, realize that I do believe to some degree that God is sovereign. What I want to challenge today is the definition of that word, because the way that Christians have used the statement God is sovereign is usually after a difficulty or a challenge or a tragedy or something unexplainable where there's many question marks about God's involvement. Where is God? Did God do this? Did He allow this? And people say, well, we don't know, but God is sovereign. And they say it with boldness and courage, like this is a spiritual truth and I'm going to proclaim it because I'm a champion of God. But the truth is, that statement is not used in the Bible. It's not a pattern through the Bible. God never described events or reasons for events with that statement. I'm sovereign and that's why such and such occurred. It's very different in the Bible. There's always reasons in the Bible. And usually people are referring to that statement to just simply create a black hole of God's involvement, keeping Him very mysterious. Nobody knows God's ways. Have you ever heard that before? God works in mysterious ways. No one knows why things happen. That's not a theme throughout the Bible. The Bible in the Old Testament especially was a little bit mysterious. It was very symbolic. It was very foretelling of the future. And things were pretty dark. The Bible mentions that it was pretty dark. Understanding was dark. It was vague. But when Jesus Christ came, He's the light. So the light has come. That was the big plan of God, is to be able to reveal the mystery of God, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. So the New Testament gives light and sheds the truth about Jesus Christ, the truth about God, so we don't have to be confused anymore, nor think of Him as some mysterious one whom we have no clue how He operates. No, He's described how He operates, what He thinks, His principles, His motives, His methods, His divine will. It's all described in the Bible. And so usually people that don't know that create a black hole of God is sovereign. We don't know why such and such happened, but we know that He's in control of everything. Usually they're using that statement to say He's in control of everything. But what I want to describe to you, or what I want to mention, is that the dictionary, if you just look up the word in the dictionary, sovereign doesn't mean micromanager of everything. Sovereign does not mean total ruler of every single thought, every single event, every single action in the earth, or of whatever kingdom it's describing. The word sovereign simply means highest ruler, supreme authority. And so if we use that definition, absolutely, God is the supreme authority. He is the highest ruler of this land. He's just not the total ruler. I've even seen the description where people survey Christians or survey people and say, do you believe that God is the all-powerful, all-knowing creator and total world ruler today? We think yes. We say yes, that sounds good. But that statement is pretty misleading, because that second half of it says total ruler, or the total ruler that rules the world today. And it's not necessarily true. He is the supreme ruler. He's just not the total ruler. There's many things that happen in this earth that He didn't want to happen. There's many things that happen in this earth that had nothing to do with God's divine will. And we need to know that. Throughout the Bible, that's how things occurred. And God always gave reasons in the Bible why things occurred. And it was never because I'm sovereign. It was never because I wanted it to only. It was usually something else. It was like because you obeyed, or because you didn't obey, or because you had faith, or because you didn't have faith, because of your unbelief. This is why such and such didn't happen. And so those are reasons today. So we just need to really eliminate this big black hole, or this black box, where all these unanswered questions remain for us, because those unanswered questions cloud our heart, cloud our faith, misconstrue God. They give us a tainted understanding, or a incomplete understanding of God and His kingdom. The truth is, God is looking to people. He's always looked to people. He's not doing everything on His own. He needs us. He wants us, and He's chosen to look to and work with His people in getting things accomplished. So when good things happen in the earth, it's never just because God wanted it to happen, because He's good and He wants good things all the time. It happens because someone partnered with Him, followed His principles, obeyed His voice, and demonstrated some faith in Him, and He was able to come into this earth and do something. So we need to get it straight, that God is not the puppet master in heaven doing everything all on His own. Humans have a huge part to play in this earth. Even tragedies and suffering and evil, they happen for other reasons rather than just because God wanted them to. Because I assure you, God does not want, never wants evil and suffering and tragedy to happen to anybody. It happens, but it doesn't mean He wanted it to, because He's not the puppet master of all evil things. Really what happens, I think people have used, one pastor friend of mine calls it Novocaine for the soul. When we find unanswerable events, tragedies, things didn't go right in the earth for us, we come up with a reason to try to soothe the pain, kind of like taking some sort of pharmaceutical that'll numb the pain, but it doesn't solve the problem. So I want to give understanding, and that's what this series is all about, helping people understand the truth about God. Where is He? How to get Him involved in our life. And to make sure that we exonerate God in the case of suffering and evil. God bless you. I'm Chas Stevenson, pastor of Houston Faith Church. Thanks for tuning in.